Greetings and welcome to the channel for another weekly What I Watched. These are getting later and later, folks. I do apologise. I am on day 10 of a 10-day isolation. Today is the last day. Oh, cannot wait. I can hear Dobby's paws coming because you can hear me talking to myself. Hello, Dobby. My son played with another child. Hello. Come on then. Oh, she's a heavy girl. She's very heavy. She's got a new hairdo. Look at that. Hello, Dobby. You want to say hello? There we go. This is Dobby. What's up here? Huh? What can you see? Oh, she's a good girl. Go back to sleep in the living room while I finish this off, and then I'll be back. So, Dobby has awoken. The beast is awoken. So yes, I'm going to get on with what I watched this week. Tomorrow, finally freedom, taking my son and his friend to a place called VR City where we're going to play some virtual reality games, which shall be just dandy. I should be grown out of all this stuff by now, but I'm not. What can I say? Before I get started, let me give a big thanks to anyone who popped into the live stream last week. Apologies for the technical difficulties. We did end up having to go over onto another of the Cinema Squad's channels, but it was an awesome night. It took me the full next day to recover. I had way too much to drink, but it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. The guys are all really welcoming, really nice, really decent guys. They do a stream every Friday night called Shooting the Shit. They've got a different guest on every week, so really do recommend you check it out because they're just a lot of fun. They do cycle whose channel that it will be on, so I really do recommend that you check it out. Also, I know when I used to do live streams, I was one of the people that would always reply to comments and stuff. Apologies if we didn't get to it, but it is much appreciated that you checked out the show. So without further ado, let's get to what I have watched. Okay, so I'm trying to remember, let me make sure I have plenty of room. I'm trying to remember last week, I think I was still talking about the disappearance of Maura Murray. You can see that there, number 7, on the 17th, number 17. Still haven't finished it. I'm really underwhelmed by it. The gunpowder milkshake, Lisa! Brand new cherry flavour still sat there with 3 episodes watched. I haven't gone back to it. So I watched Fecking a Murderer on the 18th. Now, I'm a massive fan of Making a Murderer. I think it's an amazing documentary. It's one of the better true crime ones I've ever seen. I do believe that Stephen Avery is innocent. I do believe his son is innocent, and how... Well, you guys like the interruptions, so there you go. His son was so much manipulated. Obviously, he didn't have a very high IQ, that, you know, it's ridiculous. Anyway, we're not talking about Making a Murderer, Fecking a Murderer. Okay, so this, in search of their next hit series, filmmakers Adam Rodness and Stu Stone embark on an investigation to find a man they believe to be a serial killer. Are they in over their heads? Yes. So obviously, it's kind of found footage style, mockumentary I suppose, more than anything. Hello, Dobby. I've heard enough now. That's shh. For like 20 minutes, please. Yes. She's excited. What are you barking at? I'm doing this now. No, I'm not picking you up. No. So these two guys have found footage of this guy, I think on the internet, and he's really creepy. He's talking to the camera and he's saying that he's done some horrible stuff. They are convinced this is a serial killer that has not been tracked down, so they set off to track this guy down. Hire all kinds of people on the way, approach a film company to sort of pay for the project. I found this really painful. I thought it was terrible. A lot of people are saying it's amazing, it's fantastic, and I think if you knew a lot about film and, you know, you'd maybe been to school and studied it and stuff, you may enjoy this more than me. I'm not a film student. I will watch something for enjoyment. I will not watch something that's a bit different purely because it's a bit different if I'm bored by it. Now, I will say that the last 20 minutes or so of this it really interested me. It tipped the tables. The ending of this is really good and I really enjoyed it, but I'm surprised I got that far because I really wanted to switch it off. But I think any of you guys out there that do movie reviews will agree that sometimes where in the past you maybe would switch a really bad movie off and save yourself the time, you want to be able to give a review to other people, so you make yourself watch it. I would not normally have made myself watch this. I did. The ending was very good. The bit up to that bored me to tears, so 2.5 stars. My head's fried, it really is. No. Next evening I watched Gunpowder Milkshake. Now this is one that's been on my radar for quite a while that I've wanted to see. Today I am going to read you guys what it says in the blurb because I just can't think, never mind talk today. Revenge is best served ice cold. In her turbulent life as a professional assassin, Scarlett was cruelly forced to abandon her daughter Sam and go on the run. So we follow the daughter. Years later, despite the estrangement, Sam has also grown up into a cold-blooded hit woman. After a high-stake mission spins out of control, putting an innocent 8-year-old girl in the middle of the gang war she has unleashed, Sam has no choice but to go rogue. This ultimately leads her back to her mother and her foreman hit woman's sidekicks, who all join forces in an avenging war against those who took everything from them. So basically we've got a group of really kick-ass women that on the surface appear to be very normal, respectable, plain librarian sorts, and underneath, no, they are all kick-ass, highly trained, awesome women. It's a fun movie if you like action that you're not going to really think a lot about. I would recommend it. Performances are all really good. You're not going to get any Oscar-winning like emotional scenes in this. It's just a really good movie if you want to watch action, don't want to think about it too much. So yeah, I would suggest check it out. 3 out of 5. I enjoyed it. It's nothing particularly new or innovative, but it's worth a watch. On the same evening I watched Out of My League. Right, now, I made a very brief reference to this on the live stream and it really probably made me look like a heartless cow. I tend to be too honest about these things. Right, this movie so badly wanted to be Amelie, it was ridiculous, even down to the high fringe. So Marta is an orphan. She may be affected by a lethal illness, yet she is the most positive person one can meet. She wants a boy to fall for her. Not any boy, the most handsome of them all. One day she may have found her match. Okay, so I'm not a romantic movie chick flick kind of girl. Particular movies really hit me and I love them, but for the most part I don't really go in for the just general that sort of thing. So I saw this was Italian. I do like a lot of Italian cinema. I saw that we had that illness angle with things, and at the beginning of the movie she said, if you've come to watch a movie about a dying girl get the boy, then this is not the movie. This is the movie. It's so predictable. It's what happens in the movie just would not happen. The character of Marta is not likable. She's really precocious. She's really rude. She's obnoxious, but not in a nice way. Sometimes you can be like honest and blunt to the point of being funny. She isn't. She just comes across as someone that you would like tell to get out of your face, you know, someone like that. So as this is going on and as we're thinking, is she going to die, is she going to live, I'm like, you know what, I really don't care either way. I wasn't emotionally invested. And as I said on the stream on Friday night, I cry at adverts. If they do an advert well enough, I cry at cartoons. Toy Story 3, I had to leave the room. I was so choked up about it and my husband was threatening to wee himself laughing when Andy's toys were given over to the girl. And just no. All I'm trying to say is I'm not an emotionless, hard-faced cow. I'm not by any means. But this, no. I gave it a 2 out of 5. I personally didn't like it. That's not saying it's a terrible movie, it just wasn't for me. This is not a good week, folks, is it? The following evening I watched Sweet Girl with Jason Momoa, him who is lovely to look at, but the minute he opens his mouth your IQ level just drops by 100. This is okay. There's another film that Momoa did quite a few years ago that this is very similar to. He's in a cabin in the middle of nowhere trying to protect a woman. It's very similar and I can't remember the name. Did I do my research? No, I didn't. This is just my waffle to you each week. If you're a film watcher, you'll probably know what I mean. So Jason Momoa's wife dies at the beginning of this movie. Not a spoiler, that's what happens. She has cancer, but there's more going on behind the scenes. It turns out other people may have had a hand in her not receiving the treatment that may have ultimately saved her life. And it's to do with money and bribes and all that jazz. He swears that he's going to set out and he's going to find who's responsible and he's going to hunt them down. That is what the movie is about. There is a bit of a twist in this movie, which I won't give away. Acting performances, I was actually quite impressed with Jason Momoa in this. There was a scene where his wife dies in the hospital where he breaks down and I was impressed that he had that in him. I think he's a really likeable, nice guy. He just has a nice air about him, but I almost feel like most things you see Jason Momoa in, he's a very surface level actor. There isn't much going on under the surface. So I was a bit surprised by that scene. But the rest of it is very much what you'll expect. Tough guy Momoa. You have half your audience swooning over Jason Momoa, and you have the other half thinking, isn't this really cool that he's beating all these people up in lovely ways? I would say it's worth a watch. It's okay, it's decent. You'll probably not have many complaints about it. There's some of the... No, actually it's not this. Let me go back to Gunpowder Milkshake. There are some fight scenes in that where people are reacting to the blows before the blows hit them. So the fight choreography in that in places needs work. People are like flinging themselves backwards after being hit and somersaulting, which I think is ridiculous. But they're doing it before the person's punch has landed on them. It's like, no. But yeah, I would say check this out if you've nothing better to watch. It's not too bad. It's not awful. I gave it a 3 out of 5, which means I enjoyed it. The little bit of difference about the end improved it a little bit, but maybe took it to the bounds have been a bit unbelievable. Right, and finally, that 23rd is 2 that I watched last night, and I'm ready for a right rant about Pray Away next week. All I will say is Pray Away is a documentary about conversion therapy. That's all I need to say. I'm ready to just... This made me so mad, you will not believe. But anyway, we will get to that. I thought it was going to be... I'm talking about it. I thought it was going to be more focused on how ridiculous these people and these organisations... Right, if you don't know what conversion therapy is, generally it's something that's used by big religious organisations to convert people that are gay. They are told that they can have the gayness removed from them and they can become normal, whatever that means. I thought this was going to be a real like spotlight piece on these idiots and people that do this. It wasn't. It follows the story of the people that basically they interview people that were once involved and now aren't, but they spend so much time focusing on the mantra of what they believe and what they tell people and showing all these poor people believing that this is going to change them. And who wants... I mean, these people are here because family members have disowned them. Their fathers have told sons, leave my house, I don't want to know you. I'm talking about something that's next week, but this is on Prime at the minute. No, it's not. It's on Netflix. If my head was not screwed to my body, I would walk about without it all day long. It just maddened me. I wanted to see them get their comeuppance more, and they didn't, and that maddens me. So anyway, let's get away from that. That's what conversion therapy is. It's just hideous. So, Untold Deal with the Devil is the last one of the week. It is about a boxer called Christy Martin, a female boxer. Yes, women can box if they so wish. This woman, most guys would not want to get in a ring with. She was lethal. She was very talented. And a promoter who had a bit of clout basically forced this trainer, this guy, you are going to train this woman. And he was like, no, I don't want a woman in my ring. There's a fly flying around me. It's really fucking annoying me. He tells his younger male boxers within the actual team, when she comes in here for us to train her, I'm going to put you guys in sparring with her and I want you to hurt her, break her ribs, do something that will take her out of it, I'll get rid of her and then we'll not have to train her and it will show her she's like with the big boys now. So she arrives and she gets in the ring and this guy is astounded at what she can do. Now this woman, honestly, this woman kicks ass. It's about her career. She ends up with this guy. This guy that wanted people to break her ribs ends up marrying her. And this is about her rise to being like one of the best female boxers in the world. She takes on Muhammad Ali's daughter, or is it granddaughter at one stage, who's like massively tall compared to her. But it's called Deal with the Devil. I'm not going to tell you what happens. It's a really shocking story about what happens to her, how everything ends up. It's really interesting. All I will say is there's a true crime element to this. I found it really, really engaging, really interesting, very honest. For a period of time, the woman was a complete moron. When she became really well known, she was really arrogant. She they call it smack talk, do they? I'm too old for these things. She did this relentlessly and she said some really rude things and she admitted that, and disrespectful things, and she admitted that. But she grew You know, as she got older, she realised, she looked back. But I would thoroughly recommend it. I really, really enjoyed it. I think if you like documentaries, if you like following the story of a person's life, I think you would really get something from it. I personally really, really enjoyed it, and I give that one a 4 out of 5. So that is what I've watched this week. I'm also still watching Ted Lasso, which is one episode dropping at a time, which is such a hard way to watch something. I'm going to watch 9 Perfect Strangers, but again, I want to let some build up first so I can like binge loads at once. I'm going to watch Pretty Little Lies, which I never have, but Sean from Lost in the Rail like really recommends it, so I'm going to watch it. I think that's it. We haven't been to the cinema because I haven't been out of the house all week, so fingers crossed we'll get there in the next week or so. I'm desperate to see Candyman. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I will catch up with you guys next week with what I've watched. I hope to do another like weirdy type video this week for you guys, so stay tuned, and I shall speak to you later on. Lisa Loves. Over and out from Lisa Loves.